You're sitting with people you've known for years, and suddenly you're wondering why you even came. They're talking, everyone is laughing, someone is telling a story you probably would have enjoyed a year ago. But now, you're just sitting there waiting for it to end. You don't hate them. You're not upset with them. You're not even angry. You just don't feel anything. And then you go home, put your phone down, and realize something even stranger. You don't miss anyone. That's when the guilt starts. Why am I becoming like this? Why do I want to be alone all the time? Why does everyone suddenly feel exhausting? And if you've been experiencing this, there's a good chance you've misunderstood what's actually happening inside you. Because sometimes, losing interest in people has nothing to do with becoming cold, arrogant, or antisocial. Sometimes, it happens when something inside you has changed so quietly that you didn't notice it happening. The conversations didn't change. The people didn't necessarily change. Your tolerance for what once felt normal changed. And once you start noticing certain things, you can't simply go back to not seeing them. You begin hearing the same conversations differently. You notice how often people complain about the same problems without wanting to change them. You notice how many relationships survive only because both people are afraid to let go. You notice how often you're laughing because everyone else is laughing, not because you actually find something funny. And perhaps the most uncomfortable realization is this. You start noticing how often you have been pretending to be interested, pretending to be available, pretending that certain relationships still mean the same thing to you, pretending that you're okay with being the person who always listens, always adjusts, and always makes the effort. For a while you can keep doing it. Then one day something inside you simply says, I don't want to anymore. No dramatic decision. No announcement. You just stop. You reply less. You explain less. You stop chasing people who rarely chase you. You stop forcing conversations that have nothing left inside them. And from the outside it can look like you're becoming distant. But internally it may feel completely different. It can feel like relief. Because sometimes you're not losing interest in people. You're losing interest in performing a version of yourself that exists only to keep other people comfortable. Maybe you were always the one who kept the conversation going, the one who checked in first, the one who forgave quickly, the one who stayed even when you felt unseen, the one who accepted almost any kind of connection because having someone felt better than being alone. But eventually, emotional exhaustion catches up with you. And when it does, your mind doesn't always respond with anger. Sometimes it responds with silence. You simply stop investing. This is why forcing yourself to become social again may not solve anything. You can sit in a room full of people and still feel completely disconnected. You can answer every message and still feel empty. You can laugh, talk, and participate while internally thinking, I'd rather be somewhere else. Because the problem may not be your ability to connect. It may be that you no longer connect with the things you used to accept. And this is where you need to ask yourself a brutally honest question. Do you actually dislike people now, or do you dislike who you have to become around them? Think about it. Around certain people, maybe you become quieter. Around others, you become the entertainer. Around some, you become the person who constantly explains yourself. And around others, you become the version of yourself that says yes to everything just to avoid disappointing them. Maybe being alone feels better because for once you don't have to perform. You don't have to impress anyone. You don't have to explain anything. You don't have to pretend to be interested. You can simply exist. And that can be incredibly peaceful. But there's a deeper reason this phase can feel so confusing. You may have outgrown parts of your old life without knowing what you're supposed to replace them with. The people you once felt close to no longer feel close. The things you once cared about don't excite you the same way. The habits that once distracted you now feel pointless. But your new direction hasn't become clear yet, so you're stuck somewhere in the middle. You don't completely belong to your old life anymore, but you haven't built the new one yet. And that in-between stage can feel like loneliness, but it can also be transformation. Instead of immediately trying to escape that feeling, examine it. The next time you lose interest in a conversation, don't just ask, why am I bored? Ask something more specific. What exactly am I bored with? The person? The topic? The repeated behavior? The emotional effort? Or the version of myself I have to be while I'm there? That question can completely change how you understand yourself. Because awareness often feels like detachment before it feels like clarity. You start becoming more selective with your energy. You stop answering every message immediately. You stop attending every gathering. You stop feeling guilty for needing space. You may have fewer conversations, but the conversations you choose actually mean something. You may have fewer friends, but you feel more comfortable around the ones who remain. And eventually, something unexpected happens. Silence stops feeling empty. You can sit alone without immediately reaching for your phone. You can spend an evening by yourself without wondering who you should call. You can enjoy your own company without needing someone else to validate your existence. And that's when you realize something important. Maybe you were never addicted to people. Maybe you were addicted to distraction. People can become distractions from thoughts we don't want to face. Conversations can become distractions from loneliness. Constant socializing can become a distraction from the uncomfortable question, who am I when nobody is around? But once you become comfortable with that person, the need for constant interaction starts disappearing. You stop chasing connection just to fill silence. You start choosing depth over frequency. You stop asking, how many people do I have? And start asking, with whom can I actually be myself? That's a completely different way of seeing relationships. But there's one thing you shouldn't ignore. If you're losing interest in everything, people, hobbies, goals, things you normally enjoy, and the feeling keeps getting stronger or starts affecting your everyday life, don't automatically assume you're simply outgrowing everyone. Sometimes persistent loss of interest can be a sign that something deeper deserves attention. But if what you're losing is specifically your tolerance for fake conversations, one-sided relationships, constant social pressure, and pretending to be someone you're not, then maybe you don't need to be afraid of this change. Maybe you need to understand it. Because becoming more selective doesn't automatically mean becoming cold. Needing solitude doesn't automatically mean becoming lonely. And having fewer people around you doesn't automatically mean you're losing something. Sometimes you're simply making room for something more honest. So maybe you're not slowly losing interest in everyone. Maybe you're slowly losing interest in everything that requires you to abandon yourself just to belong. And sometimes, that's not the beginning of isolation. It's the beginning of finding yourself.